Hey everybody, welcome to the first week of summer camp. I'm so excited it's finally here. I can't believe it. So I am Carolyn Byers. I'm the education director at Madison Audubon, and I'm going to be leading your virtual summer camp. So we are on week one right now, which is birds. And if you're just joining our summer camp now, there's definitely still time. You can visit our website. All the lessons are going to be there. It's free. It's open to anyone. The only thing that is currently closed now is our Super Explorers Club. So all those kids are already registered, and you can decide to do that next time later in the summer if you want. More information on our website. But we have 4 weeks planned for you. First week is birds. Second week is mammals. Third week is herps, which are reptiles and amphibians together, herpetology. And the last week is insects. And we're going to learn plants all throughout the whole time. It's going to be great. So like I said, on our website, madisonaudubon.org, you can find the Forces of Nature Summer Camp, and we're going to link that below. And let me actually just head on over to the Facebook page, because if you have questions, I want you to type them in the comments so that I can answer them for you. Where's the live? Come on, guys. There we go. Okay. So I can see it now. I can see your comments. That's great. So Brenna has already linked our Forces of Nature Summer Camp page in the comments. That's awesome. Check it out. Our lessons are there. There's also downloads if you want our bird guide for kids. It's there. It's for free. There's a few other things in there like mammal ID and insect ID. You don't need those yet though, because week one is birds. And our weekly schedule is pretty loose. This is like a choose your own adventure book. You get to look at the lessons and decide what's going to be most fun for you and what you want to do. And you can even change the lessons. If you don't like exactly what we offered, change it up. And if you want, send us a message so that we can tell other kids how you changed it, because maybe your way is cooler. So on Mondays at 1 o'clock, we're going to do a kickoff video just like this one. And then the rest of the week is up to you. You can plan and schedule how it fits into your schedule. And if you take photos and want to share them with us, you can email them and we'll post them on our Facebook page, or not if you don't want us to. So add that into the message. But we would love to see what you're doing. I want to see all the cool things that you're seeing and the art that you're making. It's going to be fun. All right, so if you are in the Super Explorers Club, check your email. I'm going to be sending you a password today, how to get into the portal on our webpage, and you had already seen information about Flipgrid. So check that out if you haven't already, and we'll see you on Flipgrid. And to all you parents out there who are helping your campers, first of all, thank you. It's going to be a really fun summer, and I hope you enjoy the lessons. But also know that we have some tips for you on our webpage on how to make the most of this summer camp and how to make sure your kids really love it. So check that out, okay? And always send us an email if you're having trouble or if you need any help. All right, so week one is birds. And I gotta say, it feels a little weird to be video chatting you all about our outdoor nature club from inside my house. But I promise the internet is better inside. It'll be a much better video because of it. Maybe later we'll go outside. Oh, Elba and Anders just said hi online. Hi, guys. If anyone else wants to comment, I would love to say hi to you. So we are going to be learning all about birds this week, and birds are awesome. I'm a huge bird nerd. They are my favorite. I love all animals, but birds are my favorite. So they're cool for a lot of reasons. First is that they have feathers, right? No other animal has feathers. That's something that's special only to birds. And feathers are amazing because they have really cool structures, first of all. We've got a whole video about that if you want to watch it. They're bright, they're colorful, they are so specially adapted. Oh my gosh, so many people are saying hi. Noelle and Violet and Evie and Sophia. Oh my goodness, hi everybody. It's wonderful to see you all. So birds have feathers that are really colorful and they're all different shapes, and birds can tell you what they're feeling with their feathers. They have crests that they can raise and lower, and they have fancy tail feathers that they can fan out in a display, or some birds have feathers that make noise when they fly. Feathers are amazing. They're so cool. So birds also have wings. All birds have wings, even if they can't fly, which is really neat. Now, birds aren't the only animals that have wings. I think I can think of a few, and I bet you can too. Insects have wings. Bats have wings. So wings aren't special only to birds, but they are part of what makes birds special. Johnny and Sam and Ethan and Amanda's child. I like it. Hi, everybody. So birds have feathers. They have wings. They have a lot of really neat adaptations that helps them fly. They have many bones that are hollow or that have air sacs in them that help to make their structures both strong and light. And they also have a lot of bones that are fused together to help make them really strong, because when they take off and land, that's a lot of force on their body that just, they have to be strong to be able to withstand that. It's super cool. So other neat things about birds, obviously they lay eggs, right? There are other animals that lay eggs, but it's a really cool thing that birds do. They're warm-blooded. They have a beak. Birds are super neat. So are you ready for this? I did some Googling and I have some notes on this. So guess how many individual birds there are in the world? Now, of course, this is an estimation, which means that scientists, they collect some data and they use that data to make a really good educated guess. So they're not just guessing wildly, but it's not a precise number. Scientists think there are between 200 and 400 billion individual birds in the world. And that's a really hard number for me to think about. It's so big. But that means for every person on the earth, there are between 40 and 60 birds. So I could have 40 or 60 birds all to my own, and every other person on the earth could have that too. Now, we wouldn't want to do that because birds belong in the wild, but that's a lot of birds for every person. That's really cool. And so that was the number of individual birds. Are you ready for species of birds? So a species means that it's a group of birds they look the same usually, they sound the same, they have the same behaviors, they live in about the same place, type of habitat, and they only breed or make a nest with other birds in their same species, usually. It's a little slushy sometimes. But scientists usually say there's about 10,000 species of birds in the world, give or take. But there's a new study that was just done using genetics, and that study thought that maybe it might be nearly 18,000 species of birds, because genetics helps us learn even more about birds than just looking at them. That's so many birds! So in Wisconsin, there have been about 400 species seen. That's still a lot. And there are about 250 that we can really see all over the place in Wisconsin. So while there are tons and tons of birds in the world, which is really fun to think about, there's so much learning we could do, there's a much smaller number that live really close to our home. And those are the ones that we can get to know really well and learn a lot about. And they'll feel like, I don't know, when I look at a bird I know, I kind of like say, hey bird, how's it going? You know, I know a little bit about you, and it kind of makes me feel like we're friends a little bit. Maybe the bird doesn't feel that way, but I do. So I love using a field guide to help me learn about birds, because it can help me figure out what the bird is and maybe a little bit more about them. All right, I'm going to go hop on the comments again, and because everybody is talking and I want to share a little bit about what you're saying. Melissa said they just made Sophia just said they made a nature journal. Awesome. Molly says hi, and Marley and Melody says hi. Cool. Hi, everybody. This is lovely. I made a nature journal today, too. So I'm going to be doing all of the summer camp lessons with my son. And he's only 3, so your nature journal might look a little bit different from mine. But I drew the 2 of us on the cover, and he had added all of these lovely colors right here. And so we started looking at our lessons today, and we picked out what we wanted to do with our day today. And so first we started out with a scavenger hunt. So you don't have to do this, but for us, what I did is I wrote the date at the top of the page in my nature journal. And then I made a spot for our scavenger hunt. And today's scavenger hunt was all about finding birds with different colors on them. And so we need to find a bird that was black, red, yellow, and blue. And we didn't have to find one that the bird was the whole, like all of the bird was red. We just needed to find one with red on it. So you can bend these rules however you like to make your scavenger hunt. And we actually found 3 out of the 4. We're still waiting to see a bird with yellow on it, but I bet we'll get one at our bird feeder later today, those goldfinches. So I also have space for our sit spot later today. I'm pretty excited for that. Let me know in the comments, has anyone ever done a sit spot, or was it your first time today? We're very excited. A sit spot is when you go find a spot in nature that it just feels right. It calls to you. And so you sit there for however long you want. We're probably only going to do a minute because my son is 3, but you could do 5 or 10 minutes if you wanted. And you just sit and you look and you listen, and maybe you write and draw a little bit. So we're going to do a sit spot later. And we also wrote about our favorite birds. Jay told me that his favorite bird was a red-winged blackbird and a crow. So I drew them for him, and then he colored over them with lava. So we have some lava birds here. But this is our nature journal. And I think nature journals are a really, really fun way to remember what you learned out in nature and kind of keep like an adventure story of what you did. Because later on, I'm going to be able to go back and look with Jay and say, oh man, we never found that yellow bird. Let's go find one today. Nature journals are really cool. They help me remember. So one of the things that I think is really fun is to figure out why you love what you're learning about. There's lots of people commenting that they have done sit spots, maybe in first grade. Some people are really excited about them. They're using lots of exclamation points. I like it. So one of the things I really like is to decide why I love what I'm learning about, because that helps me remember why I want to keep learning about it. So I love birds because they are so colorful and they all look different. I think they're beautiful. I don't only love things because they're beautiful, but birds are beautiful, and that's kind of neat. They're really interesting. They sing, they're loud, they're easy to find. They can be hard to find, but there are birds everywhere. I also like that there's so many layers to the learning. You can start out by just looking for birds and trying to find them. And then from there, you can go on to learning which birds you're looking at. And then you can start learning about their behaviors and the way they think and how they evolved and how they migrate and how they make eggs and lay nests. Make nests and lay eggs. There are so many things you can learn about birds, and it doesn't matter where you are and how much information you know already. There will always be more to learn. It's really cool. So I want to share my spark birds with you. So a spark bird is the one that made you sit back and say, wow, that was awesome. I want to learn more. So when I was a kid, my dad would take us hiking at a place called Lawson Park. And that was in Buffalo, New York. And we would go hiking there. And it was a really special place because people had kind of trained the birds to eat out of their hands. And I know some people like that and some people don't. And there's definitely pros and cons to it. And I recognize that. But to me as a kid, that was an incredibly special place. And so I would go with my dad and I would hold birdseed in my hand, and chickadees would come and land on my hand and take a seed, and then they would fly away. And that was the first time I had seen a bird that close. And it felt like the birds wanted to come and see me. And so that was part of the reason I've loved birds all of my life. So a chickadee is really, really special to me. And then my other spark bird happened when I was in college, and I was taking a field ornithology class. And ornithology, everybody say that, ornithology. That is the word for the study of birds. So if you are an ornithologist, you study birds. You're a scientist that studies birds. And so I was taking an ornithology class, and I got to help band birds. And that's when you catch them in a net and you get to hold them, and you take some measurements and you put a little metal bracelet on their leg, and then you let them go. And it's very quick, and the birds are not hurt. Maybe they're a little stressed and a little worried, but we try to hold them only for a little while and then release them again. And so the first bird I ever got to hold like that was a gray catbird. And I'm going to show you a picture of a gray catbird in our field guide. because that one might not be as familiar to everyone. So this is the gray catbird. And it turns out that this is also a really common bird in neighborhoods. I heard one today while I was out walking my dog. So this is a gray bird. It has a dark gray or black cap on its head. And you can't see it in this picture, but it also has what scientists call rusty underpants. So it looks like it has a little bit of red underneath its tail. And so the gray catbird, that was the bird that made me think, I want to be a scientist that studies birds. This is so cool. So while we're going this week, maybe you already have a spark bird. Maybe you're still looking for your spark bird, but see if you can figure out what bird it is that makes you say, man, birds are cool. I want to know more. Okay. All right. So we talked about why I love birds. We talked about spark birds. I want to talk just a little bit about the lessons this week. So we're going to put a link in the comments so you can go find the lessons. Actually, I think it might already be there. And so we have suggestions for each day of the week. And you can do them on that day. You can rearrange them. You can do them all on one day if you have the time, whatever you like. But the things I am excited for are the bird scavenger hunts, because you don't have to know what the birds are to be able to find them. Usually it's just like a behavior that the bird is doing or colors on the bird. So if you want to take it a step further, you could also figure out what the birds are. So if you want to make it a little harder. I'm really excited to do point counts. That is something that a scientist does to help learn about which birds are in the area. And you can also compare point counts, like different point counts at different places, to see how they're different or alike. So that's something I'm really looking forward to, because I like being a bird scientist. And I'm super excited about our Build-A-Bird art project at the end. We're going to talk all about bird adaptations. And maybe you've already done Build-A-Bird with us during our Safer and Funner at Home lessons. But the cool thing about that is you can always use your imagination to imagine a new bird. So if you've already done it, make up something totally different, or maybe a bird that lives in the same habitat as your bird. That would be cool. All right, so take your nature journals outside, take your bird guides, get some binoculars if you have them, or just your eyeballs, because those are good enough too. And everybody have so much fun this week. And send us comments, send us emails, send us messages. We want to hear how it's going and what you're thinking. And we want to see the pictures. All right. Have fun, everybody. Bye-bye.